We rolling.
All right. Do you want to start?
Hey, yeah. Hey, everybody. You YouTubers and Reddits and social media lovers, everybody out there. I love you guys, and thank you for loving me back. I appreciate every time you watch me, and I appreciate looking at you too. I see you. Appreciate the comments. Yes. Thank you. All the support. And we've got lots and lots of information for you. And I hope this will be beneficial to the world, okay? Because this is just a tip of the iceberg. I'm David L. Wright Sr., age 79 years old, 80 pretty soon. Glad to still be here on this earth and to relay information on to the younger generation as to the way it was. It's been a long time. It's been many years. I'm 79 years old, to just give you an idea of how much history I have stored in the computer. Cousins, I had two cousins that was in the military as far back as I can remember. Well, not as far back as I can remember, but I was very young and I was super impressed by their uniforms. They were Air Force people. These guys were in the Air Force and they just looked so beautiful in those uniforms. Their voices sounded different. They were just the man of the people that I wanted to be in life. The uniforms have just made them, they looked like generals. I don't know, I suppose they weren't, but to me they were superstars, and that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I wanted to grow up to be, as a soldier. Things weren't going very well for me. I was managing to get into trouble, not necessarily managing the trouble myself, but hanging out with the wrong guys. They were getting into trouble, and so was I. I had to be maybe 14, 15 for our punishment for supposedly breaking into the black school, not the white school. We broke in. We didn't break into it. I mean, actually what you did, you took a little butter knife or whatever type of knife they had. I didn't break into it. My friends broke into it, but I was with them, so I was part of that gang. It wasn't considered a gang. It was just a bunch of boys. And they broke into the pop machine, even though there was no school activities going on, so there was no pop in the machine. There was no money in the machine. But somehow, someone gave them the information as to who it was that had went in and broke into the pop machine. I think the pop machine was the main concern, not the breaking into the school, because nothing was broke. So we had to be penalized for the crime that we did, and the crime was supposedly breaking into the school. We were children doing very hard work that we probably should not have been doing, and paying for something that we should not have been paying for. The crime that of breaking into the pop machine maybe couldn't have been that much, but we were all very severely punished as children in that little town. So parents really didn't have control of their own children. They had no say. Whatever the sheriff or anyone said in that town, that's the way it was, and there was no talking back. There was no record given to our parents saying that your son did this or your son did that. There was never any. It was a sign of the times. Never could you do anybody's child like that today. My punishment for the crimes that we were charged with was to build a racetrack for the white school, not our school, a professional racetrack for track and field. Maybe it's still there. I'm not really sure, but sure did. We had to put the rocks in, help lay down the asphalt. It was hard labor, very hard labor for children to be doing. And we were all children, but We did it, but it wasn't right. There's no record of it, except for memory. As time went on, I had begun to get into a little more trouble and drinking.
Wow.
Drinking whole quarts of beer at one gulp at the age of 15.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 15, I was driving. We were driving. We would go to the excuse me. We would go to the areas that we could to buy liquor, and we had to go 24 miles away in order to buy liquor. Our part of the town was dry, and but that's all we would buy was like quarts of beer, Falstaff beer. I think it was one Texan, some type of a Texas beer, but Falstaff, I remember, was our beer. And we would go and buy 5 or 6 beers and drive 24 miles back to the little town where I was from. And we'd just party, smoke, and drink, and drive crazy. On the way back, we would turn up a quarter. Everybody would turn up a quarter. Me and the same 3 guys, 2 or 3 guys. We would turn up a quart of beer. The oldest guy must have been about probably 18, 19 maybe.
And you were, I'm taking it,
I was about 15.
You were the youngest guy there?
I was the youngest, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of
And I had to follow these guys in order to fit in, so.
Well, you didn't have any siblings.
No brothers or sisters.
You had
just
lost your
me.
mother at 9 years old.
Lost my mom at 9 years old.
All your cousins were in Peoria mostly.
Yep, all of them was in Illinois. Yeah, I was becoming a man. I had to make a stand, so to speak. Now I'm a man for real, and I'm being treated like a man, even though I still feel like a kid. And I want to be a man, but somehow I don't know if the stigma of black men still being called boy. I've been called a boy in my 60s by white men. And people don't realize it because I'm not angry. I understand that they probably just don't know. It's habitual. This is the way they was raised, and they don't know any better. Now we know. Now they're learning, but we've got to get off of all of that and get down to the for real. A boy is a boy and a man is a man. You can't say these bad things about people to make them feel bad about themselves. Call them a boy. So I know I'm a man, and I've been called lots of things, so I'm okay. I'm okay with it now. Well, yeah, I wanted to get out of that town.
The last time you tried to enter the military?
Yes, it was in Dallas, Texas. Okay, now, I was there with relatives in Dallas. I was trying to get a job. Well, I was 17 when I had first started trying to get into the military. Well, I mean, I had been to different locations, different cities. Yeah, at first I tried in Illinois, and then we tried in Texas, back and forth, and I could just never pass the test. I tried the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force, the Army. I could pass none of the tests, just too dumb.
How many times do you think you tried?
At least 4 or 5 times. I was never able to pass the test. My education did prevent me from joining the military.
All branches?
All branches.
Okay.
They were supposedly going to help me get a job and start from there. Maybe I'll live there. But the first job I went to was in this barbecue restaurant, and I think that one of the black guys there that was working, and he was kind of in charge, maybe I was somehow a threat to his job, because whenever I do a job, I do it 100. I don't play. And And this guy pulled a knife on me and was telling me don't think about getting his job. And I quit that job instantly, right away, because I wasn't going to get my throat cut or killed because of someone's job. So I didn't want to interfere like that. So I tried one more time, just one more time, to get into the military. I don't remember much exactly about what it looked like on the outside. I remember what it looked like on the inside.
Tell us some about that.
Well, it was just a regular office. You go into the office, and then he sit down and talk to you about it, and then you go into another room that's inside the building.
What kind of things would he tell you about?
Well, they was explaining the military, all the things that goes on in the military, and that they wanted me in the military.
Back room. Where did this
Well,
test
that's
take
where we
place?
took the test, in the back room. That's
All
where
right.
I can't remember exactly.
Just
but
basic questions,
Basic-
math, writing.
Math, writing, whatever question they have. I guess other questions probably a little abnormal for the average person. But yeah, I just, for whatever reason, I couldn't pass it.
How did you feel like you did when you took that last test? How did you feel like you did?
The last test, I felt like I was getting a little bit smarter. And on this last time I tried, just as sure as it was, the sun shines, I failed the test again. Couldn't pass the test. I began leaving, and as I began leaving for the door, military recruiter, yes,
Do you remember what this guy looked like? At all?
white.
White guy. I mean, was he fat? Was he old? Like, do you have
No.
anything about him?
No,
that
he was,
stood out?
I can just remember he was just he was ordinary person, ordinary white person and soldier, and to me, they didn't have any really bad looking soldiers back in the day. These soldiers were, fit, but I'm not really sure if I was or not because I didn't pass it. I couldn't pass it. I don't know
Did not
why.
pass. Did
Right.
not pass that test.
Did not pass that test.
And so, he came back and told you, you failed.
Mm-hmm.
How did he present it to you?
Just like that. You didn't pass the test, and
This guy said, you didn't pass the test.
yeah, he told me. He said you didn't make enough. And so I knew, and as I was turning around to walk out the door, he came to the door and he said, "Hey," asked me how bad I wanted to get into the military, and I told him very bad. And he said, "Well, let me see what I can do." He went into the back and did whatever he did, came back, and I was okay to go.
No way.
Yes, he
You were
fixed
in.
me up. I was in.
And you don't have any idea what he did or how
I
he
have
did it.
no idea. No idea what he did, how he did it, who he talked to. He had to obviously falsify something on my behalf. Well, the one promise after we had already discussed that now I'm in the military, that he asked me what would be the job that I'd like to have, and I explained to him that I would like to be a heavy equipment operator. At the age of 15, 16, I was operating heavy equipment anyway, so I needed this in my life to be able to continue on with things that I knew how to do. And so I said heavy equipment operator. That's not quite the way it turned out. But
And this was, you were 19 years old?
I was 19, yeah,
And this is 1962?
1962, yes. But I didn't mind. I don't think I minded him fixing that test because this was a big change in my life. Me being in uniform was going to be super.
Hey everybody, David Jr. here. We just want to say thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate your comments and all of your support. Up next will be my father's basic training experience. Hopefully we'll have some content out like every couple of weeks, so don't forget to hit the notification button. and subscribe. My father's experience is really, truly remarkable and a part of American history, and he's really excited to share with everybody. So spread the word on social media, tell your friends, and we appreciate you helping us get the word out.